Hey guys, so I just finished up this project here. This is on my main channel. It's a resin domino set. This lid posed a lot of challenges for me. Partly my fault, well, all my fault. But I'm gonna give you my thoughts on working with this stuff and really kind of what people should know going into it. So let's go take a closer glimpse at this project. Hey guys, well thanks for joining me on this episode of A Closer Glimpse. This project right here, these dominoes in this mahogany box. This lid, I'm gonna tell you man, it gave me some fits. Just the fact that I didn't assemble it the right way, it really messed with my mind a little bit. I wanted to kind of redo the entire mold. As you see, I've still got these pieces here, and I was really debating whether I should just redo this entire thing. Maybe redo the pattern, who knows? But my thoughts about when you make a mistake, my first knee-jerk reaction sometimes in woodworking, if it's not that hard to redo it, I will redo it, regardless of what it is. But resin is one of those things where you have a bit more of a time investment, right? So you've mixed it, you've poured it, you've done a couple things to, you've taken your time, you've put the heat gun to it, and yeah, you've got a little more time invested. It's not much more work, it's just more time. And a lot of times time is really the thing we're after. More of it, and more of it with the people we care about. And honestly, I love resin, don't get me wrong, but I'd rather hang out with my kids. Oh yeah, high five, nice job.
And you can do it.
To hang out with resin. So that being said, I figured, you know what, let's go to the table saw and let's just make this thing work. Let's go ahead and try to take off some material to, again, create another kind of raised area here that would nestle down into the box. That's the idea. And honestly, this came out really nice. It's a little quirky, I know, I understand, making dominoes and making a box for it and all this. It's one of those projects where, trust me, I never really cared to do this, but my wife got me a domino mold and I said, you know what, let's come up with something creative. This is what we got. And I'm happy I did it. One thing else I want to tell you guys is that when you work with resin, if you've never worked with resin before, I definitely want to introduce you to this stuff. A lot of people know about it, but if you don't be intimidated, okay? I've got links down below where you can save 15% with Total Boat. You don't have to use my code, but of course I would like you to. But what I'm trying to say is that if you mix it in small batches, do your research, go online, look at people who have done this before, you can see somebody do it and it looks like it's flawless. They mix it together, they pour it, everything's great. They put a little heat to it. The bubbles come to the surface and it's good to go. Sometimes it's not always like that. Resin it can be finicky. Total Boat has an amazing product and when used properly, it's great. But that's the biggest mistake people make, in my opinion, is that they kind of go at it a little too fast. I, for one, have done it myself. I have mixed way too much of the 2-to-1 high performance ratio and poured it in, and the exothermic reaction was so great that it created this really crazy looking boiling effect. And there was bubbles all throughout, and honestly, I'm actually gonna show you a quick little video clip. Check this out. This is it's a step stool I redid with a couple pieces of walnut, and the figure in this thing is incredible. We actually have this in the house. This was a mistake, okay? This was a mistake. This tabletop, or this top to this stool is probably one of the coolest looking things that I've ever made. And honestly, it was because I didn't know what I was doing at the time. So every once in a while, with resin, you will come across a happy accident, and that was definitely one of them. But that's the cool thing about this stuff, is that you experiment with it, and sometimes that's half the fun. So anyway, these are my thoughts on resin, and sometimes when you have a time investment, you don't necessarily want to, just like I said before, knee-jerk react and go redo and make something else. I do want to know your thoughts on this. Have you spent hours, maybe even days on something and it didn't come out right, and you actually found a way, or you found a way to redo it? I'm just curious. Anyway, thanks for joining me, guys. I really appreciate you being here. Don't forget, subscribe to this channel. I do try to answer every single comment on this channel. Sometimes I'm not even good at that, but I'm getting better, and I really appreciate you being here. And until then, thanks for taking a closer glimpse with me. My name's Chris, and I'll see you next time.